Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to explore the topic of honey and whether it can spoil. We've all heard that honey is one of the few foods that never goes bad, but is that really true? Join us as we uncover the secrets of honey spoiling and answer the question once and for all. Can honey spoil? Before we dive into the question of whether honey can spoil, let's talk a little bit about what honey is. Honey is a natural sweet substance produced by bees using nectar from flowers. Bees collect the nectar and store it in their honeycomb, where it mixes with enzymes in their bodies and is eventually transformed into the thick, sticky substance we all know and love. Now let's get to the question at hand. Can honey spoil? The answer is yes and no. Honey is a very stable food and has a long shelf life, thanks to its low water content and natural acidity. However, it is still possible for honey to spoil under certain conditions. The main factor that can cause honey to spoil is moisture. If honey is exposed to too much moisture, it can ferment and start to spoil. This is why it's important to store honey in a cool, dry place and keep it tightly sealed. Another factor that can cause honey to spoil is contamination. If bacteria or other microorganisms get into the honey, they can start to break it down and cause it to spoil. So how can you tell if your honey has spoiled? The most obvious sign is a sour or off taste. If your honey tastes sour or has a strange flavor, it may have started to ferment and spoil. Another sign is crystallization. While crystallization doesn't necessarily mean that honey has spoiled, it can be a sign that it's starting to break down and lose its quality. To prevent your honey from spoiling, it's important to store it properly. As we mentioned earlier, honey should be stored in a cool, dry place, away from moisture and heat. It's also important to keep it tightly sealed to prevent contamination. If your honey has started to crystallize, you can gently heat it to dissolve the crystals, but be careful not to overheat it, as this can cause it to lose its flavor and nutritional value. So there you have it, the answer to the question of whether honey can spoil. While honey is a very stable food and has a long shelf life, it is still possible for it to spoil under certain conditions. By storing your honey properly and keeping an eye out for signs of spoilage, you can enjoy its delicious flavor and health benefits for years to come. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.